several decades jointly with the Office of the State Comptroller. And again, I'm pleased to see our State Comptroller, the Honorable Thomas DiNapoli, is with us here today. We're very pleased to have Comptroller DiNapoli with us. The Comptroller has recently been in the news with the state's pension fund investments, and I'll leave some of the news on that to the State Comptroller to educate all of us on. As the Chief State Auditor, the Comptroller is in charge of auditing the taxpayers' money of our state agencies, auditing the taxpayer money of our local government agencies, and authorities, and if he had his way, I'm sure local development corporations as well. But we are in need of a person of Tom DiNapoli's stature in state government to keep everybody honest, keep an eye on the taxpayer dollars, and make sure that the system runs as it's functioning and supposed to be functioning as an independent elected state official from the governor and the state legislative branch. Not an easy job to perform on behalf of the people of New York, an often misunderstood job, as all of our jobs are often misunderstood as well, as county controllers, county treasurers, county budget officials in the room with you here today, Comptroller. But this is your people, Comptroller DiNapoli. I present, ladies and gentlemen, the State Comptroller of the State of New York, Thomas DiNapoli.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is a beautiful day here in Syracuse. It was raining in Albany, so thank you for getting me out of the state capitol. I have a quick question. How did Mike Kupferman do this morning?
That's very good.
Oh, there was a delayed response. Okay, Mike. I don't know how to mark that.
Ethics training.
Ethics training. That's why there was a delay. They weren't sure what was the ethical response. Right? It's great to spend some time with you. I certainly want to extend my appreciation to Steve Aquario, not only for inviting me to address you today, but really for his ongoing relationship with the Comptroller's Office. I don't have to tell you, Steve is not a shy and retiring fellow when it comes to representing the interests of counties in our state capital, but that's a good thing. You want to have an advocate and someone who has the relationships in Albany to present your point of view to the members of the Senate, the Assembly, the Governor's Office, the Attorney General's Office, and the Comptroller's Office as well. Steve really does a great job on behalf of all the officials at the county level, elected and appointed. Give him a round of applause. He really did a great job. And I know he's got a great team behind him. I appreciate also the leadership of NYSAC, the Association of Counties, Mark Elger, your current president, all the officers. I also want to thank Sam Picharel, President of the New York State Treasurers and Finance Office Association, for your leadership, and to NYSAC and to the Treasurers and Finance Office Association. Thank you for co-sponsoring this finance school. I'm very, very pleased that the Comptroller's Office is a proud participant in your efforts. We love to collaborate with you. And I know you heard from Mike this morning, and Tom Lewinsky is going to speak, I think, this afternoon. And I saw Tom Natito from our retirement division is going to be here. So I hope I'm not leaving out any faculty, but we're very pleased to collaborate with you and provide that kind of input. And we're also joined by other leaders of our team. I want you to be aware, if you haven't met them yet, our Executive Deputy Comptroller, who's in charge of the audit division, both for state agencies and for local government. So when you don't like getting the audits, it's not me. It's Andy Sanfilippo. He's the one right there. Andy, as many of you know, was the controller for the great city of Buffalo, so he knows the work, he knows the job, and certainly when he works with our auditors, he brings his local government perspective at the top of our organization, and we very much appreciate that. I'm also joined by Kathy Calhoun, who is our controller, deputy controller for our intergovernmental relations and community affairs division. Kathy's right there. So Kathy and her team represent the different regions across the state. So sometimes you may have an issue or a question of a more local nature. So Kathy's group would be the one that you should be in touch with. And the regional director for this particular area is Tom Carpenter. Where's Tom? He's hallway. He's in the hallway. He's taking people's cards and questions. But we have regional representatives all across the state. So If you don't know who your regional rep is for your particular area, you might want to talk to Kathy, and she could tell you who from the Comptroller's office is assigned to your region, someone for you to get to know, to be another resource for you. Certainly, we have tried very hard during my tenure as Comptroller to build up that role of partnership. Obviously, we have certain statutory duties and obligations with regard to oversight, certainly that audit function, where we have to do what we're expected to do. But I've always said to our staff, let's put a maximal effort on the opportunity to build a partnership. I was a local official years ago. I served on the Board of Education, and I've always said if one could survive 10 years on the school board, you could do almost anything in life. But I know what it's like to have to make those decisions at a very local level, to be right there in the neighborhood, know what it's like when the Comptroller's office calls and they have a question or a concern. So we really do try very hard to maximize our accessibility. We love to participate in events like this finance school. But we also like to be just a phone call away or a mouse click away. We're doing more with the web. We're doing more with webinars. We really are putting a priority on communication and collaboration. We would love to, when we have to do those audits, come in and find nothing of any concern or consequence. And that happens when we can have an ongoing dialogue and we can continue our training through initiatives like this. I also would like you to continue to look at the material we put out again. You can find everything on the web, if not in a hard copy. But our audits are often a great learning tool, teaching tool. The research reports that we put out, the technical assistance, I'm going to talk a little bit about our fiscal stress monitoring system, what we're doing with our local government leadership institutes, which is another vehicle for sharing information that we sponsor. We're going to be announcing our next round of those very, very soon. It's all with the perspective of trying to make your jobs easier as we all navigate through what continues to be very tough economic and budgetary times. Particularly with regard to NYSAC, and again a credit to Steve's leadership, we've appreciated the opportunity to collaborate on some of the issues that you've been very concerned about. Certainly our focus that has gotten a lot of attention, actually was in the news after some announcements yesterday, on the excessive costs for special education itinerant teaching services. We have, with your input, spent a lot of time on audits in that area, and I know Steve wasn't surprised. We found millions of dollars, we continue to find millions of dollars of money appropriated for special needs children that instead has been diverted for personal use, for personal enrichment. We had a program where 4 individuals were arrested yesterday. We worked with the Queens District Attorney's Office, a program that received about $27 million in state funding, $12 million of which was diverted for personal and other uses. And when we came in to say we were doing an audit, the executive director resigned and nobody could find the books for the organization. So it really was probably the most alarming of the series of CED audits that we've been involved in. And you've been a leading advocate suggesting that that's been a burdensome cost to counties and one where there hasn't been sufficient accountability. Thanks to NYSAC's advocacy, not only did we get engaged in this issue in a more proactive way, but the legislature did as well. And again, working with you, the legislature, the governor signed it a few months ago. We have a very different approach now on the CED program. We're going to be auditing every single one of these programs over the next few years. The State Education Department, which frankly, they relax in terms of appropriate oversight and regulation in this area, they're going to step up their involvement. Different ground rules for these programs are now part of that statute. And really and truly, it would not have happened had it not been for NYSAC's very strong voice, very supportive efforts on the legislative front. So again, thank you very much, NYSAC, for coming forward with good ideas, for working with us. And I appreciate the fact that when you spend time supporting this association, you're doing it in the midst of all the other duties and responsibilities that you have at the local level. So I really thank you for the professionalism that each and every one of you provide, whether you're an elected official or appointed official at the county level. These are very, very tough times. And counties are not immune from all the budget challenges that are out there. So I really want to thank you for doing everything that you do to strive hard each and every day in big ways and small ways to keep your communities moving in the right direction when it comes to county finances and county budgets. So I know you have a lot going on today. What I thought I would do in my time is share with you from the perspective of the Comptroller's Office some thoughts on our state's economy, where we at, the state budget, that issue of fiscal stress that we're all facing, and Steve indicated that one or two of you might want to know what's going on.